You know what I noticed in like a healthcare? People really think like you're a robot and stuff. Like you have to listen and don't take no days off and be there with them, you know, which is like a reasonable, you know, doubt to have towards like healthcare professions. But you always also run into some issues, like, you know, we're all humans too, you know, like we need a break too. We need to refresh our mind. We need to know some things that patients are talking, and some of the stuff that they don't know what they're talking about, and they just want to get an idea and stuff like that, you know. I just had a patient, and she was telling me that, you know, like a healthcare profession, you have to be available like 24/7, 365. But she don't understand, like, yes, we're here, but also if you see that there is no profession, or like there is no healthcare profession person to take care of you, it's something going on. It's either the person is sick, or it's either the person is have something to do, or there's something going on, you know, because if we don't take a break and if we don't refresh our mind, we make mistakes, you know. Like, you don't want to have a mistake which is going to be detriment, you know, to like a patient or to someone that comes, and, you know, we're providing healthcare, you know, we're providing life-saving like stuff, you know. But in general, healthcare workers, you know, they're like under too much stress, you know, like in general, you know, no matter what, period. So, you know, some people are saying things and some people don't, you know. Like, I'm trying to start videoing and kind of get into this realm of, like, you know, posting on social media, kind of update and stuff, period. And, you know, but, you know, sometimes, like, you get the upsides also, beside, like, the downsides. Like, patient will be like, oh, you saved my life, period, you know. I did, a patient came in and we'd run an EKG, you know. It was like R-triple-B, which is a, you know, it's like a cardiovascular issue. And we sent him to the hospital and got a pacemaker, because there was it's like a very, very blockage of your heart. And, you know, she had to get a pacemaker, you know. Then she saw me like a week or two, like I was, you know, in a rooming patients and bringing patients back. And she was like, oh, yeah, that guy, you know. I was like, your face is not familiar to me. Then when I get closer, I recognize, I was like, oh, that's you. And she was like, oh, yeah, thank you. You know, you saved my life. I said, well, you know, that's my job, period, you know. But we need that break. All I'm saying is, like, we need that break. We need that refresh our minds and kind of, like, you know, see what's going on. You know, like, you need to go and explore different things in life, you know. Like, you're here to provide healthcare. You're here to provide, like, you know, health in general, you know. Like, we're not doing it, you know. It's just me. I'm not saying it's just me. It's like everybody, you know, in healthcare, from the person that, you know, stand on the security, check you in, all the way to the top, to the surgeon, and all the way to, like, you know, to the cleaning department, you know what I mean? So you have to be respectful of that, you know. Some patients are okay, some patients are not, you know. So it is what it is, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update and what's going on. And, you know, hopefully, you know, people will kind of take it easy on us, you know what I mean? No one is saying, like, oh yeah, you know, like, if your chest is hurting, you might have a heart attack. It's not that, you know. Everyone is different. Every patient is different. Every person is different. The anatomy is the same, but the patient stuff, as far as like health issues, everyone is different. I haven't seen anyone with the same problem, you know. Like, everyone have a different problem, everyone have a different issue. So I've seen a lot that people are trying to, like, chat GPT their healthcare, or put their labs in a chat GPT, or like do their imaging, which is like MRI or echo, you know. The AI is advanced, okay? I'm not trying to say that. The AI is very advanced, but the AI don't have the knowledge when it comes to someone that understands the image. Some patients will be like, oh yeah, I ChatGPT my lab and it told me like my cholesterol was high. Your cholesterol was high by like 2 points, okay? Because in ChatGPT, it will not tell you that it's like, okay, if it's high by 2 points, these are the precautions you need to do. It might, maybe in 10 years, but not at the moment right now, So, like, be careful of that kind of stuff, like, don't take any medication that you think like you need, but you don't. Like we see so many patients like coming in and out with 30, 40 plus meds, and they be like, oh yeah, I'm just taking that. Okay, do you know why? Like, what's the milligram? Like, do you know why you're taking that? Is your provider like talk to you that your provider went in detail and kind of like break down everything like, hey, because of this you need to take this medicine, it's trying to help you, so they be like, oh yeah, he they just give it to me, like without any information with the providers, like also you have to have a basic knowledge of like, okay, if I'm going to see a provider, if I'm going to see a doctor, what are my expectations have to be? If you have any question, I should have asked. I should have get into more details. Some doctors, they just kind of go in and just put in orders and you just get it fulfilled in your pharmacy. But some providers will like sit down and talk to you and make sure you ask questions. Like when you go to see a doctor, I'm just saying, like, I'm working in healthcare. Like when you go see a doctor, just tell anything to your doctor. Like, it don't have to be related to your heart or to your health. Just talk to your provider like a human being, okay? Don't talk to your provider as like, oh, I'm here, you gotta fix me. That's not how it works in healthcare in general. In healthcare, you have to be able to talk about stuff that you are not able to talk with someone else. It's like, we're here to help you, yes. But also, me and you are the same thing. We're human beings. At the end of the day, we have feelings. We have, things to do in general in life. So if you come into me with some like questions and like I'm breaking down everything and you kind of doubt, and then you go and put it in ChatGPT and your labs and everything in your ChatGPT, it's not gonna help you. Because like, we have experience, we have knowledge, we have everything, we break down everything. We'll tell you, hey, if your cholesterol is high by like 2-3 points, you need to cut down your diet. Pretty much like, hey, fix your diet, eat more healthy. A frustrating thing about like working in healthcare is like when a patient comes and they have 15 meds they're taking on their chart, but they don't know which one they're taking. That's the most frustrating thing. Like, you have to go through, now it's like, okay, who gave you this medicine? Like, why are you taking it? And why is it in your file since 2021? And they were like, oh yeah, I'm just taking it. It's like they put in refills and refills and refills. And, but they have like, oh yeah, but it's been there for you to take for 5 or 6 days, not for 40 years, So, there's a tip. When you go to see a doctor, it doesn't matter if you have 5, it doesn't matter if you have 10, if you have 30 medicine, take the whole bag and bring it so we can see what you're actually taking. Because sometimes you're taking 5 milligram, for example, like your blood pressure meds. If you're taking 5 milligram, but your provider will be like, oh yeah, your blood pressure is kind of over like high, and it's like we can't control it with this 5 milligram, so I'm gonna put a 10, but you taking 5, but in a file it's 10. So these are the things like you have to kind of be like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna bring the whole meds and I'm just gonna give it to them so they can go through. It doesn't matter if you bring 30, my job is to go one by one and make sure these are the correct ones. So bring your medicine when you go to see a provider next time. It's Saturday evening, 24/7, Christmas, Halloween, it doesn't matter. The healthcare workers are there to help. The one thing that is kind of missing from this like new generation that are like think like you a robot, but they don't appreciate the healthcare worker. It's really kind of frustrating, like as someone that kind of see on a daily basis. But I'm not saying everyone and all people are like that, but there are some people, in healthcare also, that are really mean, that have no desire. They're just there to work. And like, the most important thing in healthcare you have to have is the human connection. Okay, that's the only thing that can connect with healthcare and a patient. Okay, because I'm not looking at you as like a robot. When you come to me and we're trying to fix you, if you have a problem and we're trying to fix you, if there is no human connection, guess what? We can't provide the most important and the most accurate tests or results or surgery for you, So we need that connection. So you also have to understand, when you come into any healthcare facility, it's your job as a patient to be patient and to be understanding of like, okay, you are not the one over there, like you are not the only patient. We have other patients that came before you that needs critical care. So we have to treat everyone equally. It's like when you come in with a headache, or when you come in for like a bypass, so there is no difference between bypass and a headache. We'll treat you the same. Whoever comes first will get the treatment, so it's not like, oh, we're gonna skip because you have a headache. We're just gonna go to the one that important. No, that headache could be a lot of things. You could have a migraine. You could be something wrong with your stomach. It could be something wrong with your abdominal. You could be something wrong with the GI. So we're trying to help everybody like the same. That's the only thing that is kind of missing. That there is, sometimes you feel like there is like no connection, no human connection. It's just like, okay, you know what, you're just a patient, I'm just gonna do this. No, me personally, I don't do that. I'll just treat my patient as like, I have a connection, even though I don't know, like, I don't know where they live, I don't know what they look like, I don't know what their background is. Like, you treat everybody with respect. You treat everybody with like, you know what, if I help this guy or this person, or if it doesn't matter, he or she, okay, maybe one day he will see me or she will see me outside, and at least he will appreciate it. That's what I'm looking at it. I'm not looking at it as right now. I'm looking at it in like 5 to 10 years. It's like, okay, maybe you will see me outside, or maybe you wake up one day, you'll be like, oh, thank God, that doctor or the future doctor did my surgery and he did so well. I feel so much better. I feel so much healthy. And like, you, at least you appreciate, this is all I need. That's all I need. Like, I don't need anything else.